We need this level of production and creation and humanity to make more sense of the world. People were asking, was it too soon? Did satire go too far? Most kids inside of a household, you get a book like See Spot Run. I didn't get that book. I got This Is Apartheid. Just try to be as helpful as possible. It's not all about taking, it's about giving as well. So we have the opportunity for new stories, we have the opportunity for new ways to engage. There is something happening here when you marry the creativity and potential of the tools with the story, fling it around the world and move that ball of freedom forward. That's what we're about here.
So, Baratunde, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Yeah,
who is Baratunde Thurston?
Oh, Jesus, are you kidding me?
It's the first question.
Do I have to answer in the third person?
Yeah, you have to. The whole interview is in the third person. Yeah.
I'm sorry, does Baratunde have to answer in the third person?
Nathan would prefer that.
All right, Nathan. Baratunde, I'm Baratunde. I'm a human being, born to a human mother in the United States of America. And yeah, I'm a writer. I'm a creative, expressive person. I use a lot of tools to do that. I love comedy. I love politics. I love exploring the intersection of those, especially with technology. And I'm a traveler. I like hopping around the planet relatively freely. And yeah, that's who I am. I'm someone who likes to try to use humor to make points or to bring people together or as a catalyst of some kind. So often it means it's me talking. Sometimes through like the company I help set up, it means bringing other people together to express themselves.
And that's Cultivated Wit?
Yes.
Tell us about Cultivated Wit.
Cultivated Wit is an organization, a New York-based LLC that was founded by me and two other former employees of The Onion. We all left roughly a year ago, summer of 2012, to extend the mission a little bit. Loved The Onion, was time to try something new but still grounded in humor. And so the idea is to use humor creatively with technology to make the world better. Better content, so we do original programming. Better marketing, so we act as an agency using humor to power marketing campaigns and ad campaigns. Better products, so we put on hackathons that are comedically grounded to make hilarious products, and we have some products in development on our own.
And I saw you have one coming up next month?
Yeah, this is our third Comedy Hack Day. It's happening at the MIT Media Lab.
Awesome.
September 21 and 22. It's going to be amazing. We did one in New York almost a year ago, September 2012. We did one in San Francisco at Twitter's headquarters in April of 2013, and this will be number 3, which should be the most perfect.
What kind of apps have come out of this?
Beautiful things that the world needs, like Shout Roulette, which lets you find people you disagree with on the internet and open up a video channel between you for the purpose of yelling at one another in real time, possibly HD, depending on your camera, and we need yelling in high def, so that's very good. There was also Citation Needed, which won the San Francisco round. A group of Stanford students made it possible to lie to your friends with ease. If you've ever been in an argument with someone and you're not sure you have the facts on your side, you can ensure it with this app, which allows you to insert your chosen fact into a copy of the Wikipedia page in question. So if you claim like, oh, Miley Cyrus is actually 40 years old and has been using sort of a human growth hormone to maintain her youthful insanity, you could add that to a facsimile of her Wikipedia page through a mobile web app and show it to your friends seconds after uttering that falsehood.
Do you know where this app is now?
Yeah, you can play with it. It's at citationneeded.co. And then most interestingly, actually, or at least as interesting as an app, wasn't an overall winner, but it's a purchasable in the App Store. It's an iPad app designed for people who have kids or access to kids. You're like reading to young children a lot in the 2 to 4 year range of age. They don't really know what you're talking about. They just demand that you read to them. So parents are often stuck reading nonsense to their kids about a tank or a dinosaur or a princess. Same story night after night. What if you could read the news you want? As the founder says, news written for adults by adults. So you choose from a Mashery-powered API into USA Today or some other news source, the stories you want to read. Then you pick a skin, a design motif of a children's book, an original children's book, and it merges the two. So you have an article about the Eurozone crisis looking like it's a story about a cute little monkey dangling from a tree.
Best
Everybody
of both
wins.
worlds, yeah.
It's literally a win-win-win-win. I think it's a 4-way win because the parent gets real information. A child gets placated, but then a child gets educated about the Eurozone crisis. And then you're also powering a tech economy. It's innovation. So,
how long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing it through amplified microphones since 2002.
And prior to that?
In writing, roughly 1996.
Okay.
My freshman year of college, I started a satirical email newsletter, and that's when I first got serious about trying to be funny.
Do you feel like since then humor has become a bigger part of news? Or I guess The Daily Show and The Colbert Report, obviously huge. The Onion.
Sorry, what's the Daily Show? What is that?
It's on Comedy Central.
Comedy Central. Okay,
Jon
I gotta
Stewart.
look that up.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, do you feel that comedy is an important part of news?
Yeah.
Is it a great way to make a point?
I think comedy is an important special power that is often deployed for good purposes. Sometimes that is to relieve people of their pain. Sometimes it is to remind them or teach them something that they may not want to learn. Sometimes it is to inform them about things they may not know about. So in the context of news, I think comedy is really important. I think not necessarily as a primary delivery device for news, but certainly as a way of setting the context of what's BS and what isn't. And you will often find that people are willing to listen to a comedian where they wouldn't listen to a professional news delivery person or a preacher or a professor or certainly a politician. So there's a level of trust that comes with an authentic comedic voice that you see in strong examples like Colbert and The Daily Show, through text and even in College Humor and The Onion, through overseas outlets, through fake Twitter accounts. We got a yearning for someone to be honest with us. And there's fewer people in society more prepared to be honest than a good comic.
Now, when did you start at The Onion?
2007.
2007.
November.
So you started in college writing satirical news.
Yeah.
Got to The Onion.
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you bring to The Onion?
My bicycle, I rode it in most days, and some granola bars, like really super herby organic type,
Yeah.
like this quinoa-based nonsense. I was hired initially as a politics editor. They were looking for someone to orchestrate the 2008 election coverage under the banner War for the White House. Onion News Network web video had just been launched a few months prior to my arrival. There was Onion News Radio on a podcast format. There was the print paper and the website. And social media hadn't actually yet, we had a MySpace page back then to post links to videos and links to articles.
Who was in your top 8?
Tom, and then Tom's friends,
Okay,
mostly. And I think maybe General Assad probably. He was a different guy back then. It was a different time.
Yeah, he's top 8 quality.
Yeah. I mean, he's really fallen since then. So my overall job was kind of coordinate and integrate all this coverage to come up with new types of digital comedy that we could do.
Do you have a favorite Onion headline?
Man, I do, and it's no one else's favorite.
Go ahead.
But it's really simple. It was a magazine cover, I think, mocking the New York Times magazine, Sunday magazine, and it says, "Enough. Is it enough?" It's a question mark. It's very deep.
It's great.
Seemingly deep headline, but it captures so much of our quests for meaning, but also like the BS layer and like super serious media headline treatment. I like the simplicity of it.
Yeah. Now The Onion is clearly evolved from just like a newspaper to going online, and then you brought The Onion to Twitter.
Sorry about that.
No, you've made it. Actually, well, speaking about Twitter, it's a platform for anybody, but comedians can use it now.
Yeah.
Do you think it's to work out material? Is it a new stage?
Yeah, everything's a stage. Someone great once said all the world's a stage. He's dead now, but he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. And I think Twitter being a part of the world is true for that. The biggest realization I had consciously at The Onion, I think I realized it even in my own work, passively, but everything is a performance venue. Your email newsletter, your 404 error page, the apps that you release, the terms of service, wherever you have an opportunity to communicate, you have an opportunity to be you. And that's true for individuals, for corporations, for nonprofits, for editorial outlets like The Onion or The Verge. So I think with that, our social media evolution at The Onion went from one that was explicitly simple and promotional read this article, come back to our real estate and spend time on site to power that metric, to, hey, we can play out narratives and scenarios on this other platform. For comedians, it's a lot of different things. It's a public notebook. It is an open mic. It is a way to connect with potential fans and collaborators, like meet other comics like you and start mutually following people, including idols, folks you've always looked up to. And there's judgment, that comes with being on Twitter. There's the release of your material before it's really ready. The idea of speed over quality and maturation is something that Twitter doesn't really respect. Twitter is all about the instant zing, the splash, the going for maximum faves and retweets. And that's a little different from trying to cultivate a voice over a period of time and really hone your craft. Is there less shame associated with comedy now because of tools like Twitter? Possibly. It's just like people are going to throw in zingers out there. But for those who do take it seriously, I think it pushes the envelope. When Bush left office, there were a lot of, I think, really dumb questions, like, will comedy exist now that this guy's not president anymore? It's like, don't be an idiot. But a lot of people were idiotic. A lot of very profound news outlets ask the same question that can you make fun of the president if his name is not George W. Bush and he doesn't spend a lot of time on vacation clearing brush? Obviously you can, but it does raise the bar. I think Twitter does a similar thing. I think all these outlets was give everyone microphones, step up the game for those who really want to wield them with some skill. You look at Patton Oswalt, he basically said something, he split his full statement across 2 tweets. So it tested your attention. And he said something in the first tweet that set up something ridiculous to be said in the second tweet. And if you just saw the second one, you just lost your mind. Because you're like, wait, what? I don't want blacks in my neighborhood. But the setup was something that made that not about race, but about something else. So that's great because it also wasn't just about him. It was about the audience and where their minds are and who was willing to do the work to figure out what he was really trying to say. And the answer is not a lot of people. Yeah. But for those who were willing to do the work, you got an extra reward. That's novel, that's interesting, that sort of thing interests me.
Do you think any part of that, though, was, yes, it was a creative way to tell a joke on Twitter, to test people's attention. Do you think there was any part of it that was just kind of see what the trolls would say?
Of course. I mean, he was baiting people.
Yeah.
But that's here's the problem with Twitter, is that it is an outrage endorsement engine. You can find anything you think you don't like. You can literally have an all sexist experience on Twitter. You can have an all imperialistic experience on Twitter. If you just search enough, you can find something to upset you. And often you can choose to interpret someone's words in the most negative possible interpretation, regardless of whether or not that was their intention. I have a little saying that I have been burned by not following before, which is click before you retweet. Like before something that looks really interesting, maybe it's someone you think you trust, you're like, oh, that's a fun headline, retweet. You don't know where that goes. Test it first before you inflict that upon your own community. So there's a responsibility of media literacy that we all have in the way media is now changing. And I think what Patton did with that was hold that mirror up to us to say, should we really be mad, or is he really, messing with us? And he was definitely messing with us. I think that's good.
Baratunde, thank you so much for
sitting
down with us.
Of course.